I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. One of the things that I like about Skilsaw is they were built by engineers. Engineers who understand that you have to repair something. So they were made with replaceable parts. And they use things like torque screws. I always take the parts, put them in a little tin can or something on top of the bench so that I can get my hands back on them again. Torque screws have a lot of advantages over a lot of the standard screws. Straight bit screws, they're actually pretty strong. But they have a tendency to cam out. Because unless you have exactly the right size screwdriver, it tends to wedge itself out of the hole. Phillips head screws cam out almost by design. They were never meant to be driven in and out more than once. Whereas torques, you can use them over and over and over and over, and they drive just fine the last time as well as the first time. Now that's design thinking. They put a bushing in the hole, so when you tighten it up, you're not compressing on the plastic and breaking it, you're compressing on the bushing. When I set up a production line, though, I always got either drivers or actual screwdriver bits that fit the drill or fit the screw head, and quite often I painted them different color handles just so that you could differentiate without having to look at the tip. Now let's take a look at this switch. Nice job on holding the wire in too. Need to take all these screws out because the new handle is going to need to have those screws to put it back together again. Now if I hadn't been able to find a new handle, this handle there's enough pieces there that I could have glued it back together again. Super glue does an amazing job on things and holds them together quite well. But this one has got a lot of cracks on it. Once I got it apart, I'm going to do a good job of looking at it, making sure everything in here is in good shape and ready to go. Switch itself looks fine. All the connections are solid, no broken wires. Ground wires hooked in securely. And I think we're good. All I have to do is just mount the switch back in place. Tuck those wires in where they go. Set the plate back across. Another good idea. I've replaced a lot of cords on power tools. Most of them, the newer ones anyways, have this reinforcement actually part of the wire. It's molded onto it so it's held in place. And that's okay, but that's an awful lot of flexing. With the new style wires, with that being part of the wire, it puts all the stress right at the joint right there and they crack. Then you have to throw the whole wire away because you can't take this support sleeve off of it. But with that support sleeve loose, the wire is free to flex, and this is allowed to move back and forth inside the wire when it flexes so that it doesn't snap off. That is a genius idea and should be followed through on every kind of power tool that there is. And that's why I had separate screwdrivers for every screw on an assembly line. I didn't want people having to hunt around to find the proper screwdriver to run in the screw. Here at home, it doesn't much matter. I can spend an extra couple of seconds one way or the other and it doesn't bother a whole lot. When I was trying to build 360 units a day, and it took every minute out of the day to make 360 units. Wasting a second on each unit meant that I was going to run 1 unit short every day. Almost didn't put that bushing in there. Would have been a waste of a really good design. I need to take this out and put that bushing in. I thought that I would put the bushing in first, and as you saw on that first one that I tried to put the bushing in first and then run the screw in, the bushing was pushing the screw off to the side, making it try and cross thread. So I just took the next one and stuck it over the top of the screw and used the screw as a pilot to drive the bushing in. Seems to work pretty good. I need another screw. Looks like I'm going to have to try and go and buy another one. In the meantime, I'm going to take this screw down here at the bottom. Oop. Once again, production setting, have the proper size screwdriver sitting right there. I need to have this here so that I have the two sections held together to grip this sleeve. Now that's got it snug. Still missing a screw there and a screw there. I want to get those before I go too far with this. Probably I would never have a problem with that, because chances are I won't be building houses in it very much anymore. But knowing that it's missing, it weakens the connection between these two sections here, and it weakens the connection down here. So I want to have those put back in to make sure it's all nice and solid. I'm going to plug in the saw. I'll make sure it operates. It's got a pretty good rattle in it. I think that is a situation caused by the bronze worm gear wearing.